Absolutely, Eric. Cameron, about 30 miles south of where we are. At some point, the governor of Louisiana suggests that the storm surge that is coming up with that eye wall could be enough to cover all of the territory between Cameron and just south of Lake Charles. That is a lot of mileage. Right now, you can see the wind, even in the last 10 minutes, has picked up. As the eye wall approaches, this will be the worst of the wind here that Laura will bring to this community. You can see the trees behind me. We've seen transformers arc and pop in the distance. The lights have gone out several times here in Lake Charles. They've come back on, but may only be temporary, and it may only be here. There's another transformer that popped. We've also seen plenty of lightning, heard plenty of thunder. This storm has gone from a sunny day at sunset with very little rain and very little wind to what we're seeing now, a storm that could bring historic, catastrophic damage to this part of southwest Louisiana. It's easy to talk about from where we are right here in a protected parking garage, but Eric, for the folks who have stayed at home, and in Houston we know there are people who have loved ones and friends who have stayed here in Lake Charles. We are awfully concerned about them. About an hour and a half ago, we talked to someone who said he knows of several young families who have decided to stay here overnight. It has to be an incredibly difficult night for them. It will be an even harder morning once the sun comes up and we can see how bad the devastation will be from Laura. Live in Lake Charles, Ted Oberg, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
All right, Ted, I also want to ask you one more thing, if we could keep Ted here, because I know, Ted, that you're kind of perched there in a very safe spot because conditions are getting very rough where you are. But we've also gotten word from our weather center as well, Travis, telling us that wind gusts now are hitting at 98 miles per hour. Again, I know you're kind of in a safe spot, but you've talked about some of the conditions with transformers popping. We definitely see some sheets of wind there and winds whipping around.
Yeah, and I can feel it. You mentioned that we are in a safe spot. Yes, we are on the second or probably the third floor of an indoor parking garage here, sort of looking out over the parking lots at the Golden Nugget Casino. But we are in a very safe spot. If you the 98 mile an hour wind gusts you suggest are here in Lake Charles, I'd believe it. The trees now bending a lot farther, Eric, and the sound that the wind makes as it whips through there is getting a lot louder and more high pitched, which gives you the sense that this is a higher wind environment that we're experiencing right now. But 98, according to Travis, is not as hard as it will get. It will get a lot worse before that eye gets here. If the storm is the center of the eye, probably still about 2 hours away from Lake Charles.
Oh my gosh, Kevin. Yeah, the wind's really starting to pick up now. Just as soon as you said that, we really started to get some strong gusts. It is raining. It's hard for me to look into the camera because the rain is just pelting us at this point. I'm going to back off camera. You can see there's some trees that have been fallen. We're right by the seawall. This is right in downtown Port Arthur. This is the Rose Hill Park, I believe it's called, here in Port Arthur.
So I'm right here, and obviously kind of out from the protection of it. There's some columns that can protect me if things are flying this way as the wind goes this way. And I think you're asking, it's hard to hear, what it's like. It's hat flying weather for sure, a little hard to stand. And we have wind gusts. I just lost my some of my equipment. It's getting better. I'm gonna step back in. And I can't hear you guys now. We'll check in a few minutes.
Yeah, you talk about what a difference a half an hour makes. I'm telling you what a difference 5 minutes makes. This really is the most intense of what Laura has brought to us so far, and likely what Laura will bring. As you can see, the power now out. We're on generator power here at the hotel. Virtually every tree that was on the boulevard underneath us here is gone. Some of them 30 feet tall, being blown down the street here. This wind is incredibly powerful. What Travis said is that what we experienced earlier tonight, and even what we experienced in Hurricane Ike 12 years ago, would pale in comparison to what we're seeing now, and he's absolutely right. The sound this wind makes is just incredible, and the wind coming in sheets as it just races down the street. It's like an army of rain just running down these streets as it falls from the sky. It's absolutely incredible to see. And to think that here within 15 or 20 minutes, all of this will stop. as that eye, that clearly defined eye on the radar loop will be up overhead. And we'll certainly hope to see that, because it will be absolutely still just minutes after this absolute ferocity. Because I'm telling you, after waiting days for this storm to arrive, there's no doubt all of the predictions are true. This is a very, very serious windstorm. And what is going on here pales in comparison, as I've said many times tonight, to what is likely happening in homes, both in the city of Lake Charles and in the 30 miles of Louisiana between where I am and where the coastline is. Those are the people that we have to keep our fingers crossed for tonight, because come sunup, it will be a much different city, a much different portion of this state of Louisiana. Eric and Gina, it's incredible to see. Thankfully, we are in a safe spot, but it is a Travis was right. The bottom has absolutely fallen out on this storm and on the conditions here as we turn from into the 1 o'clock hour.
Amazing looking at how bad it is and that we still have good cell phone service that we're relying on for a picture from you. And Ted, you know, at this point too, it's just hard to report on anything right beyond a couple feet from you because it's just so dark there. I know that you were given a 10-minute window and told by someone to get yourself into a different location. I'm just curious who gave you that 10-minute warning and what they told you.
It was the hotel facilities director, and they're just trying to get as many people inside as they can. There are hundreds of people. You can see debris now coming off high in the sky, likely coming off the roof here. I'm not certain what it was, but it was flying in the air over the street, not into the garage, and we're safe, but it is coming down. The facilities folks here just are trying to get all of the people who may be outside the shell of this building inside to make sure that they're safe.
Makes sense. We're appreciative that you're going to heed that advice. But yeah, very dramatic change there that we've watched throughout the evening with your reporting.
Now, I'm not certain if you can hear me over that whistle, but we talk a lot about what it sounds like to be in the middle of an intense hurricane. This is one of those sounds. That's not a fire alarm or anything like that. It's these doors. It's the wind whistling through those doors. I'm not certain you can hear me over that. It's incredibly loud, concert level loud, just high-pitched whistle as the wind whips through the pool area and in through those doors there.